It is safe to say that the New York Times is a mouthpiece for the elite within the United States, not necessarily allied to the president, but at least within a certain section of the ruling class itself. Well, now it seems that the New York Times has been outed as using an Epoch Times religious extremist in producing propaganda against China. Now, a recent article was put out by the New York Times accusing China of genocide against Uyghur Muslims. Of course, once again, not actually providing any evidence that it happened. The author, Amelia Pang, appears to have been a former employee of the Epoch Times, a far-right propaganda arm and fanatical anti-China cult, Falun Gong. The extremist group preaches that race-mixing, homosexuality, feminism, and science are satanic plots, and they revere Trump as a godlike figure who was sent from heaven to destroy the Chinese Communist Party. How'd that work out? Chinese Communist Party gone? No? Trump? This Trump is gone? It's amazing for all the people that God chose to do this or that. A lot of them just don't seem to be able to get the job done. I guess God's not very good at picking people to do things. Now, of course, this was revealed by the Gray Zone, Ben Norton, and when reached for comment, Pang said, "The Epoch Times and the Falun Gong group do not represent my views in any way, except when you're a member, except when you're writing their extremist views." Except when you're literally carrying out their interests and then claim that they don't represent your views. Right. Thing is, they're publishing at least 17 articles. She has published at least 17 articles promoting the Falun Gong cult and its front group Shen Yu, where the Chinese dancers' 5,000 years of banned history in China. Even though you can go to China and actually see performances of this cultural caliber, and they're not banned, which is, really kind of goes against what Falun Gong is actually claiming. But then again, trusting a cult, it's a pretty questionable move to begin with. Now, in her Times op-ed, Pang deployed her 1/8 Uyghur heritage to portray her and her family as victims of this alleged genocide taking place in China, while at the same time saying that she has lived her entire life in the United States. So that would seem to contradict her story. My life has been ruined by the Uyghur genocide. Also, I've never been to China. Never lived in China. So she has little familiarity with China and its society. She doesn't really know what she's talking about. You can't say this was a big part of your life when you weren't there and don't really have any connection to it whatsoever. Now, Pang's op-ed ran just days before the Trump administration accused Beijing of genocide, which I'm sure was just a total coincidence. I'm sure that just happened to happen. Now, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who's also a far-right extremist, rapture-ready evangelical, alleged that China has committed genocide against the predominantly Muslim Uyghurs and other ethnic and religious minority groups in Xinjiang, which we're still waiting for evidence of that to actually appear. And is really funny considering that in Myanmar, the now disposed president was carrying out a genocide against actual Muslims, was an ally of the United States. I mean, the idea that the U.S. somehow cares about Muslims is ridiculous, considering they keep invading their countries and killing millions of them, and allying themselves with people who carry out actual, real genocides against Muslim people. So, not really taking the U.S. very seriously on that one. But it does show the interconnectedness between, essentially ruling class established media like the New York Times and the many propaganda arms that exist throughout the world. And that the New York Times, which is supposed to be a very reputable and solid publication, is using a religious fanatic, literally a cultist, to spread this kind of information, this kind of disinformation among the population in order to justify the United States' hostile and violent foreign policy. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, Comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.